Well, good afternoon, my ladies and my gents. I thought I would give a little bit of a deal here with the DRCE engine uh, that's produced by Josh over at VCG Resins from Plans from Scale Speed Garage. And when you get it, there is a massive amount of parts that you get, including this big monster piece here, which I have used everything off, taken everything off, with all kinds of different parts on it. Little A-end fittings, little bitty guys. And to be honest, it looks a little daunting. And set you aside so I don't bust you. And it comes with, let me zoom this way out. It comes with a whole set of instructions. I don't have them in, I guess, yeah, here we go. Get them in order. But it comes with fitting sizes, numbers, what they are, what they go to, and the size of the line, the maximum size that you can use. I'll get into the numbers here in a minute. And you've got one nice thing about it. You start looking at it. Come in a little closer. Like this, for instance. That's the oil pump. These are some of the uh, from the bottom of the oil pan, the scavenging to come up into it to get pumped up into the other stuff. And it shows that you've got these little red, come in a little closer so we could actually see, but it shows in red, and it just shows the fittings here. It doesn't show any others, so you're not confused. But it shows here to here. This is where you need to put your lines. And it just shows that. You come over here, and then you've got the side fittings. Really, this isn't the best way in the world to set this up because you have to kind of snake your lines from down here up and around the mount up to these if you mount it sideways. I'll show you what I mean when I get to it. But it's stuff like this. Same thing with the oil filter adapter. You've got a line coming off the block coming up here. And if you look back, I believe it's, no, not there yet. But you've got the other end. Let's see, you've got, let me look at it. Yeah, here, this is why I'm confused. You come off the block, off the oil pump, and you've got a line that comes to this side. It doesn't show the fittings here yet. It shows them here. And notice it doesn't have any of the fittings, so you're not getting confused. And that needs to run down to here. This fitting goes back to the fuel tank. This is the fuel pump. Then you go, and from the fuel pump, you've got this. This one didn't. This page isn't colorized, but it doesn't really need to be. This goes up, and it shows it. Interestingly, I did not see a single carb adapter in this, but I do have a dual carb splitter for the fuel line, and I'm not really quite sure where it goes, and I just kind of guesstimated a spot for it. So then you've got the water pump, the electric water pump. And remember what I said about the what did you buy Wednesday on Thursday? Be sure and run a wire to your electric fuel pump or electric water pump, because that water pump needs electricity to turn. And if you don't run a wire to it, you don't got electricity to it. But it has this big adapter fitting here. And then you've got, and this makes sense when you stop and look at it, you've got a couple of fittings on the back, a couple of fittings on the front, and they all come and they join into this 4-to-1 adapter, and then this other part fits onto the end of it. I'll show you what it means here in a second. I said we'll get into the numbers here in a little bit. What I've wound up with, and forgive the hacking and the scraping, I was having to saw off the exhaust manifolds, or the headers, I mean, in order to try to see if I could get this big, beautiful engine to actually fit, and it just wouldn't. But I've got the alternator on it, and the alternator has, get that zoomed in a little bit so I'm not, but the alternator has a couple of holes in it for wires. Don't forget them if you're doing the super detailing, which if you're doing this engine with the lines, you really need to have them. These are the scavenge lines, and I need to touch up the paint a little bit. What I did with these is I used Molito chrome on them, and you can see how I did that on this. I basically painted them as much as I could around the supports, and then I took Tamiya acrylic clear blue and Tamiya acrylic clear red, and I painted them. And when you do that over the chrome, it gives it an anodized look. It really comes out looking pretty sharp. But you can see you run the hose here, and you run it here, and you run it here. This is from the bottom of the oil tank, comes down here. These are, get my hand out of the way so it focuses, but these are the little guys that I was talking about, where really and truly, I kind of wonder if the tank doesn't need to be turned 90 degrees so that these are facing back this way in order to be able to just run it up. But I was able to take it and run it like this and actually make it look decent. Not hard to do. That wire is firm, but it's not difficult to bend. It's got the I'll go into the ProTech here in a little bit, but it's got a copper wire core under the braiding. Yeah, I broke off the fitting here. I've got it. I just need to glue it back on when I decide to use it. But really and truly, the fuel lines, I got a set of these, I think, I don't remember if I got them from Iceman or MCV Products. I don't remember which. But I got, let me see if I can grab it real quick, because it's actually kind of impressive. I got stuff stashed everywhere right now on this build. It's not put away right. But I got this whole big honking set of AN fittings. Doesn't say on the back, but got various kinds and sizes and types, and some are hollow and some aren't. But I picked that up. I think it is MCV, but I have to go back and look. Anyway, I used some of these little guys for the fitting to go on the carburetor. And I think I actually wound up getting the carburetors on backwards. I think they should be flipped the other way. But these are Holly Dominators, if I remember the website correctly. And they actually need, or double pump, so they actually need fuel going to each one. So I've got a line running here, and I don't know if this is actually working the way it's supposed to, but hey, it's my story and I'm sticking to it. Fuel comes in from the line here, goes in, extra fuel goes up and around and back and to this side. And that's just some really 0.4 millimeter rod, fingers are hurting, and that I just kind of bent and stuck in. And then, but these, you get the line in it, and you just kind of run it along either under the intake manifold or along the sides here. And then that and that come out there. This is that big, right here, that big fitting that comes off the water pump. But when you get to it, it's not difficult. It's really not. It looks really complicated. It looks really great. I don't really like working with AN fittings. I've had issues in the past trying to use them from that big one. I need a drink of water. But all in all, it winds up being a really great engine. And some of the parts, oh, that's just some of the, but I got some of the other parts in here. I haven't taken them out of the bag yet. This little bit here is the connector hose that fits on the end here. And then this goes to the, it has a line coming out going to the radiator over here. I've got my little parts here that go to the remote filler, goes on either end, the oil filter, and there's the poor little fuel filter that got broke. I went through my stash and I found a big ignition module coil thingy, because the engine didn't come with a coil or anything. So I got that. And those are really gorgeous manifolds. But yeah, I had to saw it off. I used a photo etch saw to give a thin, clean line. Kind of sucked. But anyway, let's go through what I did with the instructions. Now you'll notice, let me come out just a little so we can kind of get a whole look. Looking at the photo etch, or the photo, God bless, ProTech. You got the various sizes. Don't really have them. I guess I do have them in order. But you'll see that they go from 0.18 inch to 0.6 inch, or 0.6 inch. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But these are in millimeters. They don't translate very well to that. So I pulled up a handy dandy app on my phone. I've got an iPhone 16 and it has an app on it that came with the phone called Conversions. Real handy. And so I plugged in the numbers. And might want to, if you're doing this engine, you might want to jot these down. This is the maximum size of the inch wise or millimeter wise of the lines used up here. Well, what are they in inches? Okay, well, plugged it in. That's 0.19 inch. ProTech has a 018. Hey, so that line will work. Go down 0.7. That's a 0.028 inch. Okay, that's a 0.025. It's a little bit smaller, so it'll work. And on down the road. So give you that. And I put it down in the description as well as to what each one of them is, just for your information, so you don't have to try to copy it from me yapping at you. So one thing to note. Okay, one thing to note when you're using the braided line, it does have, let me get it zoomed way in so we can kind of see, it does have a copper core. Now, the braided line in and of itself is a little bit too thick to go into the fittings. So what I did is I took tweezers, see if I can do it here, and I just kind of pushed it back just a little bit, exposing the copper wire, glued it, and while the glue was still soft, I just took that and kind of scooshed it up against the fitting. And it comes out looking like this. So it looks a little bit sloppy when you're looking at it like this, but when you get it and you're just looking at it, uh, maybe you've got a better way of doing it, but the line will not actually fit into the fittings if you don't get rid of some of that. And I don't have a tool small enough to actually strip some of that braiding off without just thoroughly screwing everything up. So that's what I did with that. Um, but all in all, it's not difficult to work with. Really isn't. So they look intimidating. Uh, the one thing that I can say is if you're painting these, but when you before you get them put in, these all here. Let me get this here. These little bits, all of these actually have a little. There's a locating hole here, here, and each one of them has a little pin that actually sticks out, and so it's a very positive mount there. And the only thing is, be sure there's no paint in the holes when you're painting the engine before you get to it. And there's no paint when you're doing anything to color these. There's no paint on the locating pegs, even if you got to scrape them off. Yeah, I need to repaint that, I know. Uh, so uh, otherwise, you're not really going to have quite enough room, and it makes it hard to get in. And don't abuse these. Don't put too much pressure on these. They're very fragile. They will break. They're easy enough to glue back together, but just an absolute pain. So, well, not really that great of a tutorial, but some hints and tips, bless it, for how to go about doing it. And so I hope this helps. Um, but it is really, when you get it all done, the lines are all in place. It is a, by golly, impressively beautiful engine. I'm blown away. I'm really happy with it. Um, so if you're doing it, take your time. Get your paint. Take your time. Take your time. Uh, don't get happy. Don't go all Magilla Gorilla on the fittings. Take your time. Oh, did I mention you really and truly need to take your time? So, but yeah, it really is nice, and it'll look good in your but it's a big engine. It really is. So remember that if you're doing one with a small engine bay, like I am, make sure it fits first. So I'm going to wrap this up in bubble wrap and put it in the box, and I'm going to set it aside. But I've got a 76 Caprice that I've been holding on to for a while. And I've been looking at how to go about hot rodding it, and, tubbing it and all of that stuff on the back, and the engine. And I've been thinking about, okay, how do I want to do this and how do I want to do that? I think probably I ought to go ahead and just put this puppy in it and do it that way. That'll look cool. Maybe do a second entry into the Pro Stock Effing Everything group build. So I got nothing but time, and I've got what, a little over 6 months to do it. So anyway, uh, I've yapped on this thing long enough, about 20 minutes now or so, and but I really do hope this helps. That helps those of y'all who are looking at it and going, I don't know. Really, I was scared of it. Then I got to working on it, and I got some things figured out, and it was not hard. Uh, you need to pay attention to detail, and I must say it again, take your time. Because if you don't, if you rush it, you're going to screw it up. You're going to break something. And this is too pretty a motor to screw up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. B-Tex signing out.